The Dark Voyager, the main antagonist of Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 1 Pacific Break, who mysteriously disappeared, has suddenly returned. So as you guys know, the Dark Voyager, who was piloting his mini cube cradle, suddenly disappeared. And all of us were wondering, where did he go? And when we were minding our own business, still wondering where the Dark Voyager went, all of a sudden, he has suddenly returned. Which still leaves us a question is, where was he this entire time? Well, it turns out he was recruiting someone. And all of you may be asking, who is he recruiting? Well, it turns out it was no other than Void Walker Lynx from Fortnite Chapter 1, Season 7, OG. That's right. The Dark Voyager went to OG's reality to recruit Void Walker Lynx, where she now became an agent to the last reality. And there's an evidence to back this up, such as a loading screen called Runic Lunge, where you see a picture of Void Walker Lynx surrounded by cube runes. And the description of the loading screen says, the power of the cube's propeller, confirming that she has now been an agent of the last reality. And all of us are now wondering, why did the Dark Voyager recruit Void Walker Lynx in the first place? Well, that's quite simple. To help him to expand on his search. And all of you may be wondering, what is he searching for? Well, the answer is actually from the audio logs from the order that we have collected. So as you remember, the order says that someone is also looking for the 0-point shards as well than just us. And it turns out the person she was referring to was actually the Dark Voyager. That's right, the Dark Voyager recruited Void Walker Lynx in order to help him to expand his search for the 0-point shards. And another evidence to back this up was also another loading screen called Dark Innovation, which you will see the Dark Voyager looking at a map what kind of looks like the Chapter 7 island. And if you look to your left, you will see Void Walker Lynx holding what kind of looks like a splinter piece of the 0-point shard, confirming that those two are looking for the other pieces of the 0-point shard by hacking into Inner Loop Labs, now being called Lethal Labs, in order to use the devices that are surrounding the 0-point shard on the Chapter 7 island to use it as some sort of magnetic signal to find the other shard pieces around the Omniverse. Because if you look closely, the 0-point shard currently on the Chapter 7 island is moving. And if you remember, that thing wasn't moving. But when the Dark Voyager and Void Walker Lynx hack into Inner Loop Labs, again now calling it Lethal Labs, because of the tons and tons of last reality cube symbols around the place, you will see that they're using it to be a magnetic signal for the 0-point shards across the Omniverse. However, that's not all. It turns out the Dark Voyager is also looking for someone, and you might be wondering who that person was. Well, considering that the Order's audio logs are scattered throughout the Chapter 7 island, and he put the pieces together, the answer is now obvious. The Dark Voyager is also looking for the Order, because if you remember, the Seven are the only people in the entire Omniverse that can stand against the last reality. And if the Dark Voyager kidnaps the Order, he will use her to find information to where the other members are, such as where the Order, where the Foundation, the Imagined, and the Visitor are. That way, they can recapture the Visitor and put him back into some sort of cell to torture him, to have him to be sculpted into the darkest ways imaginable. And if they were to get their hands on the Foundation and the Imagined, same thing. So, the Order is the only lead to the other members of the Seven. And if she is captured by the Dark Voyager and Void Walker Lynx, they will use her to find the other members of the Seven and bring them to the last reality to be sculpted to the darkest ways imaginable. This means we now have a clear view of what the Dark Voyager's plan is. He's looking for the pieces of the 0-point shard across the Omniverse, and also looking for members of the Seven across the Omniverse as well, such as the Foundation, the Imagined, the Visitor, and the Order. So, With that said, we now have a clear view of what his plan is. To find the other shard pieces, including looking for other members of the Seven. And we have to make sure this doesn't happen. So, with that said, thank you all so much for watching this video. Now knowing where the Dark Voyager was this entire time, that he went to OG's reality to recruit Void Walker Lynx, where she's now an agent to the last reality, and helping him to not only search for other pieces of the 0 shard, while also looking for the Order so they can find the other members of the Seven. So, with that said, thank you all so much for watching this video. Comment down below what your favorite things to do with Fortnite, creativity, buying players, Fortnite Ballistic, Fortnite Reload, Fortnite OG. Comment down below what your favorite things on Chapter 7. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss any videos from me. And I'll see all of you in the next video. Bye!